So we're going to go over the common mistakes that we are still making in Helltides that are costing us a ton of time and not helping us get the resources we need for either upgrading our gear for endgame or really going after those bosses. So the first thing to look at is actually picking up these things on the side. So along the edges of a lot of these paths, there's these little things you can click and they get a decent amount for the half second it takes to click them. It gives you a decent amount of cinders to go after. So if you are early in the world tier and you're not like clearing easily in the Helltide, you can actually get a lot of the cinders you need to open smaller chests simply by focusing on these. So use these things as a way to get additional cinders. Now, if you are past that point and you are already ready to kind of clear through the mobs like easily, do not sit on those. You don't need to open every one. There are certain ones that are the most valuable. So we looked at a second ago, the Fiend Rose. This Wretched Souls is not always valuable, but see the glowing red on it as we get close. This means it has a higher chance of dropping a decent amount of cinders. So that's 4 cinders for almost no time. And I get to stay on my horse. This one, it was not glowing red and nothing. See? So you want to make sure you're picking the right one. Fiend Roses. Not only are you getting with the Fiend Roses, are you getting the cinders, but you're also getting the Fiend Roses themselves, which are used to enchant your gear, especially at the, as you get close to endgame, upgrading that legendary gear. Now, the other thing I think it's not here. The other one that's most important is going to be these chests. There's these little round chest receptacles that are just decent. Every time they give you a decent amount of cinders. Some glowy red thing, so that's good. We'll grab that. There it is, this little chest right here. So grab those, the cinders drop like crazy. So by adding that to your mix, even as you're killing through things, as you move between things, that extra second, fight a mob, jump on your horse, because you're on the horse, you're much faster and the horse has been fixed for the most part. You can pick these extra things up easily. Not the herbs, they don't do that as well. So the fiends in the chest and even an item that's like these glittering orbs have a chance to drop 4 or 5 of the cinders, which is extremely valuable. Now, the other strategy is, since we can actually jump on our horse and run quickly between mobs, we can be a little bit more selective because not all mobs are created equal. Some don't drop shit. So in comparison, they'll drop 1 or 2 when you could have taken the same time to fight something else. So here's an example of a group that actually is more likely. If you see all the soul burners, whichever groups, like they'll have the normal, what you would actually see in that region kind of things, you'll see that, and then you'll see demons in the mix. So normal mob and then suddenly demons, they tend to drop more cinders. Now we kind of did a double duty there because you saw the meteor a second ago. The meteors, another great thing to do is to wait for the meteors to come down and then fight those little mini Helltide bosses. So it usually does the meteors for a while. If you hang out in the region, the boss will show up on your map. It'll see like a little skull thing with like spikes around it. And that is one of the mini bosses. And targeting those is actually a really good place to get cinders. Generally, as you get your build on point, it's easy to clear those guys very fast. Now in season 2, I have noticed that some of those will actually, they will drop doubles that I haven't seen. So you'll get one and then immediately it'll drop another boss. I have noticed it happens more often if there is some other players involved. But there's another great example. Regular pack, demon in the middle. So we can actually clear this mob. We're going to have higher cinder rates. And it's even better because we also have a chest back here. So just see, like, the density of these is extremely high, and you're picking up these. I just more or less doubled what I got in cinders just by picking up an extra chest. And then I can run on to the next one. This one, again, has the 2 demons going on in it. So I'm just going to clear that. And there, just a decent amount of cinders. You'll notice, oh, I haven't even cleared all of them. Clearing the last one is actually really important for this too, just in case you guys don't know that. But finishing out a mob also has a chance of an additional bonus for that. So then the other thing that you want to do is you want to pay attention to the target. I mentioned the chest and that there's 2 chests that you can go after that really are the most valuable. The targeting ones are okay, but even if I'm not super targeting, like I need a weapon when I first get in the world tier, I just want to go after mystery chests. They seem to have a better drop for anything that I need. I seem to be able to get the helms or body armor or anything else that I'm looking for easier by getting the mystery chest than almost anything else. And I'm getting a lot higher amount of materials for that single chest open. So I almost completely avoid most of those unless I'm hyper targeting for a piece that I know I need. Like I just need one more. I just need an amulet. That's just the last piece and my build is on point. And so I'll use that. But the mystery chest, when I come into a Helltide, I just want to choose what I'm doing. I'm either doing mystery chest or I'm doing living steel. And you want to do the same. When I come into a map, the first thing I'm going to do when I've actually enter in the area, I'm going to go find out where the chest I want. So in this region, I actually know this region a little bit. Let's go. So normally I'll marker. So let's say that I actually come in here. I know that there is likely to be one up here, but actually up here, these two spots. And then there's one over here. And so I'm going to just put the marker. That way I can just follow the trail. And especially with the better horse, it's just so much faster than it was. So, but let's say I'm targeting mystery chest. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to check this first location that I know, no chest. Any of the locations, feel free to like look up a map. The boss, people talk about the boss, unless you're clearing the boss super fast, I did not see it worth the time to clear that little roaming boss that's here. Go to the other location, it's up here. So the point of that is we pick the target, we come and find it wherever it is. Generally just skip everything. You don't really need to fight anything yet. And just find, okay, so there we are. Now we have our mystery chest. That's gonna be our target. The reason I do this is because I am close to 250, but I don't have 250 yet, but I'll know where to go right away. So I'm not coming and checking all the locations that might have what I need. I know to come right back to this location. So now that I know that, the only thing that'll change that is the top of the hour thing. So if you guys don't know, when this hits, it's like 5:48 right now. When this is 6 o'clock, if the Helltide's still going, the location of the chest, both the mystery chest and the living steel chest, will move to another location in this region. So if we look at this, this region is actually pretty large. So this is now this section. It is another section here, and another section here. So there may be a chance at 3 chests top of the hour, and then after the hour switches, another 3. So we could, if you're really clearing fast, you might even be able to get 6. So now that I know the target, I can come right back here. If it's not in this, it's probably in one of those other locations. So now if I come here and the top of the hour happens, you know, before I come back and I didn't get 250 in time, I know to come check over here and it's most likely to be there. So that stops me from wasting a lot of time just running around really aimlessly and wasting time that I could be grabbing cinders. So it just makes it really efficient. I can get to those max 4. I know when I'm going to one location or another. Now that takes me to probably the most important thing that we can do for leveling up in Helltides. And that is going after the events. So events give the highest density for cinder drops in one location. But what I would do is I'll find one event. And generally, if I kind of move around this area, fight mobs around here, this event will queue. Now, what makes this strategy crazy is not just being able to do one event. Yeah, clearly do events when you see them. But if you target by running between 2 events, find the 2 locations of 2 separate events, and you kind of sprint between them while targeting only elite mobs and only ones that have demons in it, then by the time you get back to the other event location, it will have reset. So there's a star. That means that's probably not running right. Oh, it disappeared. That's even better. So there'll be an event here. We can, oh, these are the bigger ones. So this is the stronghold events, which you can go clear. They do have a good clear, but they don't seem to reset as well as the smaller events. But you can add that in your mix. If you're running from a little one to that one and then to another one up maybe further north, then you really can maximize hitting those. But each one of those is going to be about 50. If you are getting to them fairly quickly and you're picking up things along the way, if it's much easier for you to not clear as you go and just pick up things on the side and then go to those, still a great strategy. But you'll easily be able to get multiple chests open in the time that we have in Helltides. So between those 2 locations, and I just remember where they are. If you have 3, that's even better, because then you're pretty much guaranteed that kind of running the circuit, you'll have enough time, it'll have reset for you. Now, I did notice that they reset a lot faster, even on a ridiculous level if there's a lot of players in the area. So I think that's another reason why the Helltide's so great, is those events are spawning a lot faster and you can target them. So in Helltides this season, Living Steel is probably the biggest change. And that gives you the ability to go after bosses, as we mentioned. Well, the main focus for a lot of people is going after Duriel. So Duriel is going to need a drop from 2 bosses. One is Grigor, which is what we use Living Steel for. The other is Varshan. And Varshan is, how to get Varshan is to go after his material, or to go after getting his material through Tree of Whispers. If you're going after Varshan, the best place in season 2 to do that right now is going to be Blood Harvest. Now, it seems a little weird. It's like, oh, that's for Potent Bloods and Seekers, but every Blood Harvest loads with 3 events that are already built into it that are designed to get you Tree of Whisper points. And they're really easy to do while you're doing everything else in there. So you're getting all the benefits of the Potent Blood. You're going after the Seekers. You're even getting a chance to drop some of the boss materials. There's these little like symbols that show up on the ground, like this weird etching. If those show up, and a boss will spawn, or a monster will spawn on it, and those will commonly drop boss material. So, and that happens in Blood Harvest a lot more often than most places. It happens in big boss or world boss fights, and it can happen in nightmare dungeons, and even in other bosses. But that's where I've seen it a ton is in these blood harvests. So if you're doing that, you are not only getting the pieces for the Tree of Whispers, you're getting all the stuff, all the benefit of the blood harvest. So if you want to look at that strategy, not only do I have a great way for using blood harvest to level like crazy from the very beginning of the game, but also how to maximize what's going on there and get the most out of it, then just watch this guide right here.